In this episode of Reading the Royals, I'll delve into their body language to reveal the shifting power dynamic and how Prince Harry may have unwittingly become Meghan's spare.
Oh my bloody hell, you guys, Richard Eden just dropped a bombshell that's leaving royal watchers stunned. Turns out the Meghan Markle's been calling the shots in her relationship with Prince Harry all along. Oh my god, you guys, who didn't know that? Everybody living under a rock, I guess. From their first public appearance to their big royal exit, Meghan has slowly but surely taken control, making Harry fade into the background. But how far does her evil influence really go, Brian? Is she the true powerhouse in this royal duo, or is there more to this story than meets the eye?
Meghan Markle officially appeared together in public for the first time. None of us knew then what a dramatic new chapter it would be for the royal family.
To find out more, we must go back. In September 2017, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made their public debut at the Invictus Games in Toronto, the not 51st state, and it was clear from the start that Meghan wasn't going to be the typical quiet royal wife. While Harry looked protective and a bit stiff, Meghan exuded confidence, leaking it into the floorboards, effortlessly soaking up all of the attention the world was gifting her. She was relaxed and in control, while Harry seemed more like he was trying to shield her from the press. This wasn't the usual dynamic that you'd expect from a royal couple.
Remember, this came after Meghan had apparently gone against protocol and talked about their relationship in a controversial cover story for Vanity Fair magazine.
Richard Eden even exposed Meghan when he informed people that to make things even juicier, Meghan went rogue shortly after, giving an exclusive interview to Vanity Fair about their relationship. She openly called Harry the one and revealed intimate details, which was a huge break from royal protocol. The royal family preferred to keep things private, but Meghan wasn't having none of that, cause how she gonna be famous if she ain't talking about it? From that moment on, it was clear that she had a plan and Harry was simply following her orders like a good little twooper.
Who can forget these pictures, taken just 2 months later when the couple officially announced their engagement?
The engagement announcement between Harry and Meghan was one of those iconic moments that had everybody talking. While the photos outside Kensington Palace were meant to showcase their love, there was something deeper happening that day. Ooh. If you pay attention to their body language, it's obvious that Meghan wasn't just playing the role of a supportive fiancé, she was already in control.
And body language expert Judy James calls this the double clutch. Actress Meghan here shows she's no newcomer to the photo call.
She whipped that man. Just look at how the guy stands, stiff and formal, embodying the traditional royal stance. His posture almost suggests that he's waiting for permission to speak. Meghan, on the other hand, is dripping confidence into the carpet. Her signature move, the double clutch, as body language expert Judy James called it. Meghan places both hands on Harry's arm, almost pulling him in, guiding him through the moment. If Harry thought he would be taking the lead, well, Meghan made it crystal clear that she was the one holding the reins. Giddy up, Harry. And then there's this whole inside scoop from Harry's memoir, Spare. He revealed that his brother, Prince William, was concerned about how fast the relationship was moving. But Meghan, she wasn't just swept up in love, she was already plotting her course. An enter. From day one, it was clear Meghan was the one calling the shots and Harry was just along for the ride.
It was a similar story for the first TV interview. Look at the arm stretched across him and how she leans right into him. Meghan's the dominant one here. Harry was a confident public speaker.
When it comes to TV interviews, the dynamics between Meghan and Harry couldn't have been clearer, especially during their first one as an official couple. As Richard Eden noted in his expose, Meghan, from the very start, took center stage and owned the moment. You can almost picture her leaning in toward Harry with a look that says, I'm in control here, boy. And it's not just the physical closeness, it's the energy she radiates. Harry, on the other hand, looks a little more like he's trying to keep up, maybe a bit out of his element. While he's confident, it's Meghan who's shining brighter. It's like she's effortlessly steering the conversation, while Harry seems almost a little lost in her glow. It's a stark contrast to what we've seen from other royal couples.
I didn't know much about him, and so the only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I had one question. I said, well, is he nice?
Yeah, it's what Richard Eden sounds like in my head. Now, if you think about Harry's brother, Prince William, glad it's not an Albert, and his wife Kate, or even Charles and Diana, they had a very different approach. They let each other take the lead in public. You never saw Kate or Diana overshadowing their husbands, at least not to this extent. They played by the royal handbook, modest, reserved, and letting the men have their moment. But Meghan, she's rewriting that playbook entirely, man. She ain't waiting for Harry to take the spotlight. She's making sure it's shining on her, baby. And she's doing it with all the grace and confidence of somebody who knows exactly what she's doing. Now this is where things get juicy. When you look at their body language during this interview, it tells you everything you need to know. Harry might be the royal prince, but Meghan has an undeniable magnetism. She's comfortable in her skin, Harry being comfortable in her skin, she's totally at ease, while Harry's more rigid, like he's unsure of how to navigate this public moment. And this wasn't a one-off either. From their very first public appearance together to countless interviews after that, it's clear that Meghan wasn't just the supportive girlfriend. She was already stepping into a role that would define their relationship, one where she would dominate the narrative. On the day of Harry and Meghan's wedding, the world was glued to their screens, watching what was supposed to be a fairy tale moment. But if you take a closer look at their vows, something stood out that made you question the power dynamics between the two of them. As Harry's putting the ring on Meghan's finger, Meghan places her hand on top of Harry's. It's such a simple gesture, but it's also packed with a lot of meaning.
One way of looking at it could be that it's a sign of reassurance to a clearly nervous and stiff Harry, but another way of looking at it could be that it's seen as a sign of dominance.
Now, at first glance, you might think it's a sign of reassurance, a way of comforting Harry during such a huge moment. But when you really think about it, this small but significant gesture could also be seen as a subtle power move. It's almost as if Meghan's saying, I got this bitch, while, Harry's the one receiving the ring, traditionally seen as the one giving it. It's an interesting moment, especially when you consider the royal context. This was a sacred, once-in-a-lifetime ceremony, and yet here's Meghan making sure she's asserting her presence and maybe even subtly signaling the start of her reign in their relationship. But wait, this wasn't all Richard said when he was exposing Meghan. That's a title, Exposing Meghan's Markle.
Where Meghan holds Harry's hand with both of hers. Judy says it's the strongest form of hand-holding and gives them a romantic couple appearance.
After their wedding, things between Harry and Meghan started to look a little different, especially when it came to their body language. As time went on, their public appearances took on a new tone, and it was pretty clear that Meghan was starting to take a much stronger lead in their relationship. One of the most notable shifts was how Meghan became the queen of the hand sandwich. Now listen, y'all, this ain't your typical hand holding, it is way more intimate. Meghan would wrap both of her hands around Harry's, giving him a firm grip, almost as she was holding on tightly. Not to his hand, but like his entire presence. It's a way of showing control, signaling to the world that she's in charge, and Harry is more than just a supportive partner. He is hers.
We're a couple of months after the wedding now, and things are starting to really turn. It seems as though their body language becomes less formal, more clingy, mirroring the growing tensions.
Now, talking about power shifts, remember those iconic royal balcony photos? No, not the one with Michael Jackson dangling a baby over the edge. I'm talking about the ones that showed the couple after an official engagement. If you look at Meghan's body language there, it's kind of hard to ignore that she's kind of leading Harry, almost like a mama got her little baby. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is really telling. Meghan's posture is open, confident, while Harry seems a little bit more stiff and reserved. He's standing there trying to keep up with his mama, but it's pretty clear that Meghan is leading the way for the big boy. It's almost as if the dynamic has shifted and Meghan is the one calling the shots, and people can't help but believe Richard Eden when he exposed Meghan for this. Behind closed doors, things get even more interesting. Not like that, get your head out of the gutter. Meghan started to make bold public statements, drawing attention and creating waves, while Harry remained more reserved and at times seemingly uncomfortable with all the public scrutiny.
The couple told the rest of the world about the pregnancy as they landed in Australia for their first royal tour, taking in Fiji, Tonga and New Zealand too.
It's almost like he doesn't want the world to know that his testaculars are hanging in her closet. And then Richard Eden went on to comment about the Australia tour in 2018. Crikey. This was supposed to be Harry's big moment. After all, it was his event, the Invictus Games, that he had created to honor veterans, which I 150% support the idea behind. But if you were watching closely, you couldn't help but notice that it quickly turned into, oh my god, Meghan's show. It was almost like the spotlight didn't just shine on her, it followed her everywhere she went. She was practically glowing with confidence. From her first public appearances to every little moment that came her way, Meghan didn't just show up, she commanded attention.
It's also the first time we see this, Meghan cradling her baby bump. It was a bit of body language we saw repeatedly throughout her pregnancy, and one that got the nation talking.
I've said this before, but she really is the living, breathing version of the "Notice me, senpai" meme. You could tell from the start that Harry was there, but let's be real, he was just playing the supporting role. Meghan was cradling her little old baby bump, which speculatively is not even hers anymore. She was acting like a queen, stepping out in front of cameras with all of the poise and grace in the world. Whenever there was a photo op or an important moment to be had, it was Meghan who took center stage. Whether it was shaking hands with locals, engaging with the media, or just walking down the street, it was clear that Meghan wasn't just a sidekick to Harry, she was the main attraction. Kinda surprised she didn't start kissing babies. Ew, Meghan cooties. Here's the thing, you know what? The royal family's not dumb or stupid or blind, sometimes, and they took notice. There were whispers about how the rest of the royals was starting to get a little jealous of Meghan's popularity. It was hard to deny that she was winning the public's heart, maybe even more than the rest of the family combined. But Meghan, she was soaking it all in, enjoying every moment of being the new star of the royal family. Could Richard Eden be onto something, and is he exposing Meghan of all the right things? And guess what? It doesn't end with this, even if you're like me and you're ready to go and eat yourself off of a building because you're tired of talking about Meghan Markle. When Meghan and Harry made the bombshell decision to step down from their royal duties, in 2020, the world was left in shock. Not really, I don't think anybody cared. It was a move that nobody saw coming, and it had royal watchers, the media, and even their own family members questioning what was really going on. But looking back, you really can't help but wonder if this wasn't part of Meghan's master plan all along. After all, the move to California wasn't just about escaping the royal spotlight, it was a strategic step to take control of their future, and Meghan wasted no time in doing that. Once they settled down in California, it was clear that Meghan was ready to build her empire. First came the big Netflix deal, and then, as if she wasn't already stirring the pot, Meghan dove into activism, creating her own brand that focused on everything from gender equality to mental health awareness. Meanwhile, Harry, he was hanging back, supporting Meghan as she took center stage. It didn't take long for the public to notice that while Meghan was thriving, Harry seemed to be trailing behind. It was like she was the one in control, and Harry, the prince, who had once been so full of promise, was becoming the spare in their marriage. See what I did there? That's called a callback or a full circle. Anyway, Richard noticed this while exposing Meghan, and he wasn't the only one. So, as always, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section down below, and we'll see you next time.